In this video, we're going to speak about the wonderful story, Wisdom of Age or Youth's Experience, Who Wins? Flip the coin to make a choice. This is by personal growth and self-improvement writer Hani Amery. You can click the link in the description box below to read the entire story online from the author's page. Oliver Wendell Holmes once said, "The young man knows the rules, but the old man knows the exceptions." Are older people really wiser? Or is it a myth that most of us have come to accept given the extensive experience that boomers tend to have and the youth lacks? Well, according to science, it is true. Although cognitive functions are known to decline as we grow older, happiness and psychosocial functioning often improve. You may argue that young people have more energy and should be happier, but a Harvard study attributes other factors to happiness, such as the health of people's relationships with others. People at the prime of their youth have a lot to look forward to, but there are also things they worry about, especially in their 20s and 30s. Young people may be smart but are often not equipped with the experience of dealing with pressure and managing the stress in their life. Wisdom and its connection with age. Wisdom is a complex concept. It is not something innate but is slowly developed over the years. It is the best judgment for people who come with knowledge, experience, and having gone through a real transformation. Dorothea S. Copeland once said before that a word from the wise, from those who have had experience in life, is far more valuable than many realize. If we are wise, we will take it and make use of it, thus saving ourselves much time and grief. Knowledge can be gained through exposure and learning, but not wisdom. Age is not a prerequisite for gaining wisdom, but to possess it, there is a need for understanding human nature, have emotional reliance, and an ability to learn from experience. There's no way to measure this quality like you measure IQ and EQ, but it represents a state that is the ultimate balance and something humans strive for. Do old people unlearn? Maybe not. But their views on life and opinions are shaped by what they have gone through. We all agree that the more years you spend on this earth, the more time you have to interact with other humans. Time gives you the capacity to take in the enigma of life and its people. A program, Berlin Wisdom Project, aimed to come to a more conclusive definition of this concept and what it means. To give this elusive concept more clarity, the project asked a group of people what a 14-year-old girl who wants to move out should do. Different people gave different examples based on their understanding. Now, the project aimed to pave the way for future studies on wisdom and was instrumental in creating a baseline on how wisdom should be measured. Age is a factor that comes into picture time and again. For example, a woman who was 67 years old was measured for being wise, and despite not going to school, scored well than younger people who were being tested on the same scale. The key difference between both of them was the age and a lack thereof. Now that we have discussed wisdom and how it is connected to age, we will talk about the other side of the coin, the experience of the youth. A concept that is considered the polar opposite of wisdom. Stephen Colbert said that, "Remember, you cannot be both young and wise. Young people who pretend to be wise to the ways of the world are mostly just cynics. Cynicism masquerades as wisdom, but it is the farthest thing from it. Because cynics don't learn anything. Because cynicism is a self-imposed blindness, a rejection of the world because we are afraid it will hurt us or disappoint us. Cynics always say no, but saying yes begins things. Saying yes is how things grow. Saying yes leads to knowledge. Yes is for young people. So for as long as you have the strength to, say yes. Although each of us is unique, openness to experience is something that is often associated with youth. As per psychologist Robert McCrae's research, this trait often peaks at the age of 19 and can often carry forward well in your adolescence. The fact of the matter is that everything is new to you and you are still absorbing the world around you. Young people are at the pinnacle of exploration when it comes to life, and it is perhaps the very factor that makes them upbeat, liberal, and open to change. When you are young, you are still creating opinions. Opinions can go through learning and unlearning. As much as I try to give credit to older people about being wise, I have to acknowledge young people for their ability to think differently. Perhaps that is the reason they happen to have a knack for solving problems and thinking out of the box. When you are young, possibilities seem endless. This mindset often acts as a placebo, and every day, millennials and Gen Z kids surprise me with their initiative-taking nature and their knowledge. Many people of my generation consider the youth to be stupid and overconfident. They are dismissive of young people's opinions and think that their views are too idealistic as well as lacking substance. The American writer Alvin Toffler was reflecting on our attitude towards the youth, and he said, "The secret message communicated to most young people today by the society around them is that they are not needed, that the society will run itself quite nicely until they, at some distant point in the future, will take over the reins." Yet the fact is that the society is not running itself nicely, because the rest of us need all the energy, brains, imagination, and talent that young people can bring to bear down our difficulties. For society to attempt to solve its desperate problems without the full participation of even very young people is imbecile. Myopic views about the youth. Viewing young people as stupid and lacking value is something the older generation has been doing forever. When Greta Thunberg, the Swedish environmental activist, gained international recognition, many didn't take her seriously. They thought, what does a teenager know about running the world? Many even advised her to pay attention to school rather than running campaigns to save the world from climate change. Greta learned about climate change while at school, and after winning an essay competition on the same topic, protested in front of the Swedish parliament for exceeding the carbon emission limit agreed by the world leaders in 2015. I, for one, think that this girl is incredible, and it is unfair to reduce her to an assumption. Millions of kids her age have been inspired by her protests and believe the values she stands for. The adults have not been very warm though, especially those who are sitting in key governmental positions in places of power. They think that a young girl, especially a teenager, is not qualified to speak on serious topics. The U.S. Treasury Secretary, Steven Mnuchin, went as far as to tell her to go and study economics before lecturing investors. I wish this was a one-off case, but it is not. A group of people thinking they are better than the others just because of the age factor is unfair and unwise. Take Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, for example, the representative for New York's 14th Congressional District. Her rise has shaken the political scenario of America, and her star power seems to threaten older people in the industry. Suddenly, her view is reduced to lacking value because of her age, and for no good reason. A lot of people in the country, particularly the Boomer and Generation X, don't think that she is qualified enough. Are you enjoying the video so far? Please subscribe and don't forget to click the link below if you want to enjoy reading the entire story. Now let's continue. Young people help to change the world. It is high time that society's concept of young people evolves. Young people have always been at the forefront of social change. Their idealistic views and youthful exuberance are gifts that make them excellent problem solvers. Young people are often blamed for their own problems. However, there is a need to look at things critically and reflect on what we are doing wrong. The problem with this world is that instead of embracing traits of each segment of the society, they are pitted against each other. There are rules and regulations that exist for both the youth and older generation which make absolutely no sense, yet are pushed. The problem with hammering a certain mindset is that after some time, we start accepting it as our reality. Although I see quite a big chunk of youth who are trying to actively dismantle the rules and make their own. Unfortunately, people my age, despite knowing better, often fall victim to the agenda being pushed by certain elements in our society. Making rules by yourself requires a lot of spunk, and I truly admire those who have the ability to do it. British journalist Christina Patterson, the Independent columnist, spoke of her distaste for these societal rules in an article she wrote for The Independent. She mentions a survey which was conducted by a diet food company where they asked women what type of clothes are age appropriate and what outfits should a certain age group abandon. You may think about what that has got to do with age and wisdom, but let me tell you, it does. It discards older women and tells them that because they are no longer young, they somehow have less value. It is also dictating how older people should behave and don't respect them for who they are. Don't put people in boxes. Here's what is wrong in putting people in boxes, whether they are young or old. You judge them as per your preconceived notions and don't pay attention of their views. Just because someone is young doesn't mean that their opinions don't hold value. Similarly, just because someone is old doesn't mean they can't make smart decisions. Limiting people to labels, we restrict their humanity and their ability to deliver great things to the world. We think our version of doing things is right and everyone else is wrong. This is a recurring issue with both old and young, that they both look at each other with disdain, and instead of encouraging them to be the best version of themselves. The world is out to ensure that we keep our biases, and a number of us indulge in the same behavior. Of course, it is not entirely an agenda of others. We oftentimes put labels on people because it makes our view of them simplistic and convenient to absorb. Assumptions are lazy, but they're also easy, which is why so many of us use them in our lives. why does a society requires both the wisdom of age and youth's experience? I remember watching Anne Hathaway and Robert De Niro's The Intern and thinking what a fantastic manifestation of how the wisdom of age and experience of youth can work together. Hathaway, being the young person, makes the exact same mistakes that people her age make despite being smart. De Niro, her intern, on the other hand, surprises her with his excellent wisdom, work ethic, and support. Something she definitely wasn't expecting from him, given he is old and retired. The movie dispels many myths about both age groups. To begin with, old people are not rusty. If given the right tools and support, they can contribute to a company and society like nothing else. On the other hand, we see that Hathaway is disciplined, a trait that older people complain about young people lack. A case for hiring the old. In the real world, companies often have age limitations in terms of jobs. Not only is this a fault way of filling positions, but it is also not smart. Older people should have the chance to come back to work. Why should we dictate the retirement age? Every year, the retirement industry spends billions of dollars convincing us that post-retirement means chilling, playing golf, and taking vacations. Although there is nothing wrong with those goals, there is more to post-retirement plans than that. Not everyone enjoys hustling, and there are people who enjoy working. For them, having a purpose and being involved in something meaningful is an adrenaline rush. Many pieces of research show that people who stop working and retire have higher chances of being depressed and heart attack. Now, I am not surprised by these findings at all. We are humans, and all of us need something to look forward to. Humans are, after all, social animals, and like most animal kingdoms, we only thrive if we are involved and have space in our communities. No one can build success on their own. All people who make it to the top do it because they were given opportunities and the chance to explore their potential. Stephen Hawking said, "Work gives you meaning and purpose, and life is empty without it." There are plenty of examples to tell us that being older can be wonderful and age could be a great teacher. Jane Fonda, the celebrated actress and activist, is 82 years old, and I am in awe of her intelligence. The values that she stands for are something which she has acquired for the years and which wouldn't have been possible had she not gone through certain experiences. Age teaches you. It gives you lessons, and even if your eyesight is weak, the vision of how you see the world, metaphorically speaking, definitely improves. I have seen that when people get older and want to switch careers, the industry just doesn't support them. It is unwise to deny that this section of the workforce has managerial skills and can teach plenty of things about overcoming adversity and dealing with issues to young people. Let me give you a personal example from my family. I have a 24-year-old daughter who is a pharmacy school graduate and a 17-year-old son who just finished his GSCE this year. Both pick on things faster than their parents. You know how older people are slow on technology, and I am no different. I am constantly amazed at how both of them just know how to solve an issue like recovering passwords and helping me organize my emails so I can browse through them without any hiccups. If it wasn't for them, I would have been in a lot of trouble and may not even be able to do something as simple as a bank transaction. In the same way, They recognize the wisdom I have acquired over the years and know that my belief system from my experiences, which are both real and valid. They seek out advice from me, and although I am slow when it comes to technology, I can offer them a lesson from my understanding of the world. You see how easy it is that we accept each other's strengths and weaknesses. What one party lacks, the other can compensate for it. Mehmet Murat Ildan once said, "Old people have wisdom but not energy. Young people have energy but not wisdom. Energy and wisdom must be in the same body to create a much better civilization. To do this, we will either give energy to the old, or we will give wisdom to the young, and for now, the latter seems a more plausible action." It doesn't have to be a choice. We have discussed how both young and old people contribute to society. Why must we choose one over the other then? Christina Patterson, the independent columnist, espouses these views in her writings and reiterates that she has no issues about getting older. She's been 29 and doesn't want to stay there. However, as someone who is older, she does want people to treat her for who she is, a learned and confident woman. So why should we not strive for a society that values the energy of the youth and the wisdom that comes with age? Human resources are the greatest resource in the world, and to fully take advantage of them, it is crucial that we let all of them take part in the progressing of this world. Both youthful experiences and wisdom of age are two sides of the same coin, and we shouldn't have to pick one. Dr. P.S. Jagadish Kumar said, "Old minds have the power to create history. Young minds have the power to change the history." If you're still watching, then enjoy the desserts. As we move towards a progressive world, it is important that we challenge what we know and learn things about other members of society. Labels are lazy, and resorting to them is even worse. We are battling new issues every day, so why not harness the strength of both older people and the youth? Most humans are prisoners to their way of thinking. If you have studied the law of attraction, you will know that we are all vibrational beings. Our thinking is a powerful tool, and unless we free ourselves from the shackles of prejudice and assumptions, we cannot achieve greatness collectively. We are not denying the reality of age and youth, but instead of dismissing people's views because of their age, it is important we see where they are coming from. An older person may be able to see the bigger picture because of their experience and how much they've seen the world. The youth, by default, may have creative problem-solving issues that their older counterparts lack. In addition, young people should have a say in major decisions of the world, and old people should be employable regardless of their age. Maybe they won't be tech-savvy, but might have excellent organizational skills and work ethic. No one should have to be shut away and asked to behave in a certain manner. As Mehmet Murat Ildan once said, "The wisest young is the young who can look at the world through the eyes of the elderly." If you want to stay fit and go to the gym at the age of 70, you should be able to do that. If someone who is 14 wants to give their opinion on world politics, they should be allowed to speak their mind without being shunned. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Please let us know in the comments section below what you think about who will win, wisdom of age or youth's experience. We would love to hear from you. You can click the link in the description box to read the entire story on Hanny and Mary's page. Please share this video with your family members, relatives, and friends. And of course, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button below and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.